A very good day to all my listeners all across the globe. This is George Nathaniel, and welcome back to my podcast, which is George Nathaniel. My podcast, as you know, is available across all platforms. So come in, listen to my podcast, share your feedbacks, and I'll be more than happy to come back and talk about your subjects or something that you like listening to. I also have a blog website which is called georgenathaniel.net. My blog website is different from my podcast, but yes, the learnings are similar, the experiences are similar, and most importantly, everything is about happiness, it's about wellness, it's about sharing experiences, and it's about making life easier across for each one of us. So as you all know, all of my podcast comes with different topics or subjects or experiences along life. What is my topic for today? Well, my topic for today is something that goes on as an ongoing throughout our lives. So the topic is called the learning. Well, the learning is something that each one of us experiences over all times, every moment of our life. So when I talk about the learning, the first thing that I would say is for each one of us to understand that life offers the most practical lesson to cope it over the learnings. The lesson takes us to highs and lows, but coincidentally, only the lows gets us tougher. Only the lows are something that we remember. And the lows are something that we don't cherish once we overcome them. So learning is a very important lesson in all our lives. The learning is very important lesson at any point of our life. And learning is something that we should always take with us along life. I am sure each one of us may have faced some kind of toughness or some challenges or some problems. And there has always been some learnings to get us out of it and go get us back on track. So when we talk about the learning, we're talking about the big meaning, we're talking about experiences, we're talking about a lot of good things along life. What and how is the learning? Well, the learning is all about something that is self-infused. How we incorporate that on ourselves. And yes, the learning is very important to put us on track. The learning is very important to take us to the next level. And the learning is very important over any course of action to get better results. So in my views, the learning is a very important aspect in our life. So when we talk about the learnings, what are the few things that I would say we need to relate to? Well, when I talk about the learnings, I would say we need to understand that the learnings is about highs and lows of life. So it's very important to hold strong on our self-esteem. And remember, in life, time always passes. So we just need to give our best to find a way through the tough moments. We need to give our best to elevate ourselves toward the good moments. Finding a source of influence during the learning is very important. The lesson of the learning could be the source of influence. Somebody who has helped us to the learning could be another lesson. So the source of influence is very important. It's something that needs to keep us spirited and make us hope for learning over every time of life. Remember, the learning is never easy. It gets tougher as we keep going up the ladder. And most importantly, there's one word that I must share with you. We should never be judgmental towards anything when it comes to the learning. So learning, as we see, plays a very important part in our lives. Well, there's a lot of advice that each one of us may have received in our lives. There are a lot of learnings that we may have come across through these learnings. But I would definitely like to share something from my aspect. Well, for me, I would say the biggest learning of anything is to go out of our way during these tough times or during these good times and find a new scope, find a different scope, find a better approach, and most importantly, find a brighter moment to whatever we are going through, be it highs or be it lows. Because that is something that will help us to go to the next level. That is something that we need to apply in our lives as a learning. So when we sit down, like I always say, when we sit down and we relate to our personal lives, our professional lives, our goals, our contribution in lives, there are a lot of key takeaways that we need to relate to. There are a lot of pointers that we need to prepare over. So when we relate to the topic which is the learning, well, there are a few things that I would definitely like to say could be a few key takeaways that one can consider. Well, number one of those key takeaways I would say is to be prepared over new ways to adapt, to adopt, or to go along with as part of your change or part of the challenge. That is very important. The next I would say is we need to be more focused with calmness. That is very important because be it highs, be it lows, calmness is very important and focus. Another thing that is very important is self dependency. That is a key. So, be it highs, be it lows, at the end of it, it's all about one's own self. So, self dependency is definitely an important key. Next, I would say when we take a decision, we need to follow through the decision. We need to stick to those moments. We need to be strong over the outcome. And remember, all good efforts lead to good results. So we need to have that confidence that yes, if I put in the best efforts, it'll definitely yield the best results. No matter whatever the situation, no matter whatever the circumstances, whatever. It's all about the learning that takes us through our lives. And most importantly, this is something that I would say one needs to put it down as a mandate. It is only time that can judge results. So no one should be judgmental. And we should focus on efforts. Sometimes it takes a longer effort, but sometimes it takes more effort. But eventually the results are good. So time is the only judge over our results. So we have enough time along everything to put in our best or give our best and get the best out of the learning. So when we talk about the learning, well, something that I would say each one of us can relate to our lives. We need to understand that yes, the learning makes or builds our personalities. And the learning is something that takes us to our success stories. So if we have a good learning, if we have good results, if we have strong foundations, if we have a strong vision, if we have a good experience to learn from or to prepare for the next event, then automatically we see better things in life, we see brighter moments in life. So the learning is very important in our lives. The learning is like the new sunshine, the new sunrise. It's something new every day, something new over every moment, something that nobody can judge, nobody can decide. It's all about our own efforts. It's all about, as an individual, putting in their best to get the best results. So when we talk about the learning, we should understand that it's very important in our lives to keep learning all through our lives. And remember, even the best mark can get bettered. And success has no limitation. We can just go on and be successful in all our endeavors. So as you'll know, I keep my topics very simple, very generic, because it relates to our lives. And I'll be more than happy when each one of us sit down, or every individual sits down and makes their own pointers in their own lives, over their own success stories, over their own goals. But yes, most importantly, I wish everybody all wellness, I wish everybody all happiness. And I wish that everyone's contribution help towards the wellness in lives. I hope you like listening to my podcast. This is George Nathaniel, and I hope you like listening to the topic, which is the learning. Do come in, share your views, share my podcast, and I'll be more than happy to talk about your particular topic, your particular subject, or something that you like to hear about. Keep sharing the happiness, keep sharing all the goodness in life. Thank you so much. This is George Nathaniel, and I wish you all wonderful times ahead. Thank you so much.